Hello, everyone, and good evening or good day, depending where you are. Welcome to another Tuesday evening with us here at Bnei Baruch. And as usual, we're going to go over the articles that we do during the morning lesson. And today, we've got the article from Shemati, Annulling before the Creator in the work. That's Shemati number 4. I think Heaviness One Feels when annulling before the Creator in the work. Now, people who registered with us or who are in touch with us, who we have their emails, we've sent an email. So if you want to join us in Zoom, just click on that Zoom link in your email. If you have not received an email, but you would like to join us in Zoom, then you're going to have to click on the Zoom link, which you don't have. Okay, so how we're going to arrange that? The guys will send you an email, okay? So just write your email in that chat box, and they'll send you an email with the Zoom link if you want to join in the Zoom link. But just note, we are on YouTube and it's live, all right? So there you go. If anybody wants to join, hop on board. This is because somebody requested it last week, so we had a chat about it. And if you'd like to join on Zoom, you can. In the meantime, also, if you have any questions, queries, shoot them through as we go through this article. We'll try to, go over it, scrutinize it, dig into it, and see what we can get out of it. As you know, we're doing Shemati articles in the morning lessons with the Rav, so it's really good actually for us to go over them, chew them a little bit, and see how we can get some more wisdom, some light out of it. Right then, Shemati number 4. What is the reason for the heaviness one feels when annulling before the Creator in the work? All right, quite a long title, a mouthful, but let's see. It's pretty important for us to understand this article. We must know the reason for the heaviness one feels when he wants to work in annulling his self before the Creator and not worry about his own benefit. A person comes to a state as though the entire world stands still, and he alone is now seemingly absent from this world, and leaves his family and friends for the sake of annulling before the Creator. There is but a simple reason for this, called lack of faith. It means that one does not see before whom he nullifies, meaning he does not feel the existence of the Creator. This causes him heaviness. But when he begins to feel the existence of the Creator, his soul immediately yearns to annul and connect with the root, to be contained in it like a candle in a torch, without any mind or reason. However, this comes naturally, as a candle is cancelled before a torch. It therefore follows that the essence of one's work is only to come to feel the existence of the Creator, meaning to feel the existence of the Creator, that the whole earth is full of His glory. And this will be one's entire work. That is, all the energy one puts into the work will be only to achieve this and nothing else. One should not be misled into having to acquire anything. Rather, there's only one thing a person needs: faith in the Creator. He should not think of anything, meaning that the only reward that he wants for his work should be to be rewarded with faith in the Creator. We must know that there is no difference between a small illumination or a great illumination that a person obtains, since there are no changes in the light. Rather, all the changes are in the kelim, the vessels, that receive the abundance. As it is written, I, the Lord, did not change. Hence, if one can magnify one's kelim to that extent, he magnifies the illumination. Yet, the question is, with what can one magnify one's kelim? The answer is that to the extent to which he praises and thanks the Creator for having brought him closer to him, so he would feel him a little and think of the importance of the matter, meaning that he was rewarded with having some connection with the Creator. To the extent of the importance that one pictures for oneself, so the illumination grows in him. One must know that he will never come to know the true measure of the importance of the connection between man and the Creator, because one cannot assess its true value. Instead, as much as one appreciates it, so he attains its merit and importance. There is a remedy in this, since by this he can be rewarded with this illumination staying permanently within him. Right, so that was Shamati number 4, I do believe. Right. So let's go over it again. If there are any questions, just shoot them through. Are there any questions? Okay, let's see. Not at the moment. Okay, let's just go through it again. It's just a good opportunity for us to chew these articles a bit more. And if we got time, actually, we can do this other one as well that we did yesterday, which is Shamati 35. That is also really good to go over. So if we get over this, we'll have some time, and then we can, bash our heads on that one as well. Right, Shamati number 4, once again. We must know the reason for the heaviness one feels when he wants to work in annulling his self before the Creator and not worry about his own benefit. A person comes to a state as though the entire world stands still, and he alone is now seemingly absent from this world and leaves his family and friends for the sake of annulling before the Creator. So this is a common sensation we go through when a person comes to the study, of the wisdom of Kabbalah. He often feels that he's leaving everything behind. And there is such a sensation. It's pretty clear as well. You can't really miss it. It's nothing subtle. So it's a good, clear-cut feeling. There's but a simple reason for this called lack of faith. It means that one does not see before whom he nullifies, meaning he does not feel the existence of the Creator, and this causes him heaviness. Now, this is the most part of the work where one feels a descent, right? So everyone's going through a lot of ups and downs, and every time we go through a descent and we feel heavy and we feel this lack of desire to do anything, we don't want to move forward, we don't want to do anything, we don't want to come to the lesson, I don't want to meet with the groups, do anything, nothing. So I'm kind of feeling really heavy, lazy, no desire. That's what it basically means. The heaviness means that I don't have any desire for spirituality, and it's like a burden on my back. And the reason is because we haven't come yet to the attribute of bestowal. And because we don't have the attribute of bestowal, that's what it means when he says there's lack of faith. If we were in bestowal, if our nature was kind of clothed with a little bit of bestowal, then we'd have some power to do something. But if we're in complete desire to receive for ourselves, it's just like, as you work, you just begin to, get heavy and heavy and heavy. So the initial excitement that a person has when he starts or she starts to study the wisdom of Kabbalah is because we found answers. So if we get answers to our questions about the meaning of life, all of a sudden we feel ecstatic. And we're thinking, oh, great, I found some answers. Now let's dig into it. And then we get deeper into the study, and then we understand, we have to start working a bit more seriously. And that means bestowal. So all of a sudden we're feeling like, this is not what I quite expected. So it's against our nature, and that's how we feel a bit of heaviness. But this needs to happen because exactly at this point, you can build what we call the degree of human in you. Why? Because then you're left in between two opposite states, right? So on the one hand, you've got your desire to receive, who doesn't want to give, he just wants to receive. On the other hand, you've got the dot in the heart who got some answers for the questions about life and wants to push forward, and you're kind of left in between. So it's a bit of a dilemma for a person, but that's how you build free choice. So this heaviness has to occur, and a person must then use the environment where his free choice is in order to put some strength, recharge the batteries, and move forward. But when he begins to feel the existence of the Creator, his soul immediately yearns to annul and connect with the root, to be contained in it like a candle in a torch without any mind or reason. However, this comes naturally as a candle is cancelled before a torch. So like I said, if we felt a little bit of bestowal, there wouldn't be a problem. We would immediately annul the desire to receive for ourselves, and we'd feel really comfortable with it. That's also a bit of a problem, because in spirituality, when you're going through the steps and all of a sudden you get to a state where you get into this comfort zone as well, because the sensation of the Creator makes you annul automatically, and that puts you into a comfort zone. Now, that's a bit of a problem as well, because then you enter what's called the klipa. It means you're now getting pleasure from spirituality, and you're not really feeling like you want to push to the next level. So what has to happen then again is then the Creator has to, give you a bit of a nudge, a bit of a push, a pinch, so that you can then get out of that comfort zone. So even before spirituality, you got this heaviness happening, and you got to fight it with the environment, with the help of the environment. But in spirituality as well, it's very easy to get into that comfort zone, and then you get stuck in it, because you're in a good zone, happy zone. And then if you don't get out of there pretty quickly and move towards the next step, then that attainment of spirituality can turn into a klipa, a bad inclination, because now you're using the pleasures in spirituality for your self pleasure. So in any case, this is something you got to look out for before and after attaining spirituality. Okay. It therefore follows that the essence of one's work is only to come to feel the existence of the Creator, meaning to feel the existence of the Creator, that the whole earth is full of His glory. And this will be one's entire work. That is, all the energy one puts into the work will be only to achieve this and nothing else. So the whole purpose of life is to achieve this connection with the Creator. So if I make it as important as I could possibly, manage, then I've got something to talk about. This is why the essence of all our work is just, attaining the goal, and everything else in our life is actually like on the side. So we live like everybody else. So all of us has a job. We work, we take care of the family, and so on. We do what the normal, regular corporeal world, lays out for us to do in order to survive and live. But on top of that, what we want to do is push everything else towards spirituality. So although we have a regular corporeal life, but the main thing, the important thing, what we want to attain in life is spirituality. That is what it means, the essence of one's work and the essence of our existence. So we want to come to see that everything in reality is kind of controlled, governed, ruled by the Creator, and that it becomes your spiritual attainment. So we need to come to that attainment so we can realize that everything is done by the Creator, that there's none else besides Him. So all the energy one puts into the work will be only to achieve this and nothing else, because this is the purpose of life. With everything else in life, you don't take anything. You end up dead and they bury you. So the only thing that a person can really have and take away with him is that attainment, that spiritual attainment, which is above his corporeality. One should not be misled into having to acquire anything. Rather, there is only one thing a person needs: faith in the Creator. So basically, we shouldn't be chasing all our petty desires. Obviously, like I said, we need to maintain our corporeal life, a normal standard of living that you're used to. or what's considered normal in society, and that's cool, no problem with that. But on top of that, a person should be striving to attain the purpose of life, which is faith in the Creator. Now, faith means that I attain the attribute of love and bestowal. That's what faith means. Faith is not how the religious define it out there in the world. That's not faith. Faith means I've acquired an attribute, and through that attribute, I actually understand the Creator. I understand the cause and consequence. I understand why He's relating to me in a certain way. And that relation is important. Otherwise, I can't learn anything. So in the world of religions, faith is like they tell me something and I believe it. I accept it to be true, but I don't really know if it's true. And even the person who told me about it doesn't know it's true either, because he heard it from some other guy. Okay? So there's this chain of, talk from ear to ear, mouth to ear from everyone, but nobody really knows what the truth is. So faith means attaining the truth, understanding the whole of reality, cause and consequence. He should not think of anything, meaning that the only reward that he wants for his work should be to be rewarded with faith in the Creator. So the only thing we're really looking out for to attain is to attain this attribute of bestowal. Okay, that's it. So when it's talking about faith, you immediately have to understand we want to attain the attribute of bestowal, because only then can you believe that the Creator is good and is doing good. Otherwise, you can't really believe what the Kabbalists are writing. We must know that there is no difference between a small illumination or a great illumination that a person obtains, since there are no changes in the light. Rather, all the changes are in the vessels, the kelim, that receive the abundance, as it is written, I, the Lord, did not change. Hence, if one can magnify one's kelim, to that extent, he magnifies the illumination. So this vessel that we're talking about is this point of contact. So if I have a minimal contact, it means my vessel, my degree of perception is at a minimal level. So what do we want to do? Just like in life, when babies are growing up, they increase their perception about life, their understanding, they begin to see things a bit wider, they take a look at things from different perspectives. Why? Because they're growing up. Their vessels are growing, their perception is growing. So that's what we also need to do in spirituality. But if we have this minimum level of contact, that's already enough, because it's the trigger point. And that's the most difficult thing in spirituality, attaining that first level, because it's like being born in this world, right? Birth is a really difficult process. This whole process of getting pregnant, growing in the womb, and then having a healthy birth is quite a long, complex process. So sometimes a lot of people don't understand why everything is taking so long. But this is how it is with life. Imagine how many years it takes for us to grow up and understand. And when I say understand, it's just like, how much do we still understand about our lives, right? So it takes something like 20, 30 years until we begin to figure out what I'm doing in life. I'm working like everybody else. I'm in this rhythm, I'm in this flow, but do I really understand life? So growing up, understanding life, actually finding our way around in life, and being able to stand up on our own 2 feet and live out our lives independently is a long process. So it shouldn't surprise us that spirituality is also a process. But just like when babies are growing up, they don't realize they're growing up, right? They're just going through the days and the hours and the seconds, and they're going through the events in life, and they're going through a lot of sensations and feelings, discovering the environment around them, and they don't really feel like they're growing up. Same here in our spiritual development. So we're really working on it every day. We're trying to get better and better and better. We're working on it every day, and we don't really realize that we're growing up. But every time we put some effort into it, even now with this lesson, for example, we're just adding a bit more meat, a bit more development to our spirituality, even though we may not realize it. So it takes a bit of time. So if we get that minimal illumination. That's already enough. And as we grow our perception, then we're going to have more light. What does that mean? It means more understanding, more perception, more connection with the Creator. That allows us to feel a greater part of reality. So the question is, with what can one magnify one's killing? So how am I going to increase my perception, right? The answer is that to the extent to which he praises and thanks the Creator for having brought him closer to him. So he would feel him a little and think of the importance of the matter, meaning that he was rewarded with having some connection with the Creator. So in order for me to increase my perception, I have to value what I'm trying to perceive. This is also the same thing with our lives, right? If I want to get a broader understanding of something, I increase my connection with that something. May it be, I don't know, science or anything I want to learn. What do I have to do? I have to increase my connection, my interaction, how I'm dealing with it, how I'm thinking about it more and more and more. Because the more I think about it, the more I'm beginning to have discernments about it. So how am I going to get close to the Creator? How is it going to be that I'm going to begin to enlarge what I can get with respect to perceiving the Creator? That is only going to happen if I'm thinking about it, because the only way you can really increase a desire, which our desire is this dot in the heart, it's a really small one, and I want to increase it. I can increase it if I'm thinking about it. Just like when you think about a desire that you have in corporeal reality, the more you think about it, the more you have a desire for it. And the greater the desire you have for it, the more pleasure you get from it. Because the size of the vessel and the longing for what you want determines the pleasure you get. So in this example, it's the same thing. If I'm valuing this little relationship, even though I may not even feel the Creator, but I have this little minimal inclination to feel the Creator, this is already something nice that I can work on. So the more I begin to grow that, the more I'm working on it, thinking about it, and so on, then we've got something to talk about. Then I can grow my desire for the Creator. To the extent of the importance that one pictures for oneself. Now look how nicely he's written it. Things can only happen according to the importance I give it. So just like in this life as well, how do we choose things in life? According to the importance. If something is important for me, then I'll put the other things that are less important on the back burner. And I'll keep focus on what's more important. So to the extent of the importance that one pictures for oneself, so the illumination grows in him. Now remember, he is not saying here, you have to study 12 hours a day, Kabbalah. He's saying to the extent of the importance that one pictures. So I could be in my daily work, having my daily routine, working like normal people, taking care of the family, taking care of my health, and all these kind of things that I could be doing normally, just like any other person in the world. But inside of me, what is important? That's the question, right? Because we're studying spirituality, meaning internality, not externality. So while going through a regular life, which we have to, if I still understand in my mind and in my heart, I'm keeping this alive all the time. The most important thing for me is attaining spirituality. Then it says illumination grows in him. Why? Because I'm thinking about the Creator. Thinking about it increases my longing, my desire. And if I want something, I'm attracting it. Why? Because the Creator wants to bestow to us, which means he wants to have a connection with us. And if I also want that connection, then we're attracting each other, right? It's like similar things attract each other. So we're actually getting to an equivalence of form, right? How the Creator wants to bestow, and I want the Creator's bestowal. I want what he wants to bestow onto me. So we're attracting each other. Does that make sense? All right. So one must know that he will never come to know the true measure of the importance of the connection between man and the Creator, because one cannot assess its true value. Well, we're not there yet. We do not understand the real value of our parents until we become parents. Okay, because a baby doesn't understand that if I don't have a mom, nobody's going to take care of me and I'm going to end up dead. There's just no understanding of that thing. So just like a baby doesn't really have this immense value yet, the baby just understands it gets things from his or her mom. Okay, and the mom, for a baby, mom's like God, because whatever he or she wants, mom gives, right? Or dad. So the importance only happens when you begin to understand the role of that person in your life. And we don't yet understand the role of the Creator in our lives. So for us to give that the exact or maximum importance and value is impossible. It's not possible, but we'll get there. But the trigger to grow some kind of importance is the dot in the heart. This is why the wisdom of Kabbalah, you can't really teach or attract anyone to the wisdom of Kabbalah unless they have a point in the heart. No point in the heart, no point in talking, basically. Why? Because there's this little attraction for us. So if, as much as one appreciates it, so he attains its merit and importance. But if we, by using the environment, increase the importance of the Creator, increase the importance of attaining the meaning of life, and clarifying for ourselves that the meaning of life is to be like the Creator. And the Creator means love and bestowal. So we have to get out of this opposite state of egoism and hate and turn it into love and bestowal. Then we can feel the Creator, because then we've got equivalence of form according to laws of nature. The reason we don't feel the Creator is because we're in this, we're not similar to the Creator. We're in a different state. We're in egoism and self-love, whereas the Creator is in altruism and the love of others. And this is why we're completely disconnected. And this is why our life here is quite deadly. At the end of the day, those who will end up dead are known as dead, as it's written. So in order for us to find life, we have to give life, the real meaning of life, the value, so we can actually attract it to ourselves. And that can only happen if I use the environment to increase my desire for spirituality, for the meaning of life. And then the study, the environment and everything, me being inside that environment and growing myself spiritually, then becomes a remedy. What does that mean? It becomes a vessel of change. Then by using the environment, I begin to change. This is why a person's a product of the environment. It's also known as a law of nature in corporeality. Wherever you stick around, you end up becoming like those people. So you could be a really nice guy. If they put you inside a mob, you'll end up becoming a bad guy. If you're a really bad guy, they put you inside a bunch of good people, you'll start becoming good. So it's all about the environment. Okay, any questions? Okay, there are a few questions. Okay, 4 questions. Francesco is asking, to feel his existence means we have been rewarded. Therefore, how do we move closer to him if the condition is up to him? Well, the condition is up to the Creator, but there's also man here, right? Or there's you. If I don't make an effort, if a baby doesn't cry, he's not going to get milk. Is that right? So I have to react somehow. So my reaction is what I have to do. It doesn't have to be right, because there's no right or wrong if I don't know what I'm doing. A baby doesn't know what he's doing as well. Right? He's just throwing his arms and legs about, but when the baby feels discomfort, hunger, or, whatever, he or she cries. And this is what we do as well in life. When we get into a state where we don't know what we're doing or how to get out of a state, what do? We're like desperate. We ask for help. This is exactly what we should be doing. We're trying to get to something. We haven't yet felt it, but we're working in the environment. And if I'm finding it difficult to attain what I want to attain, then I can come to, just like a baby, a demand from the Creator, just like a baby comes to a demand from mum. So what's up to us is the important thing here. Okay? The Creator, this is why the article says, I do not change. So the Creator's relationship towards us is the same. That's what it means. I don't change. So what has to change is me integrating myself into the environment to decipher what the Creator's actions are upon me. I have to decipher what he's doing with me. So the environment then becomes your playground. It's like kindergarten. So then I'm going through a lot of emotions and feelings and so on. And that way I'm beginning to think then it becomes this little table tennis game. So like he's throwing at me something and I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do with this one? And then I have to react back. The right way to react is through the impressions that I get from the environment. So this is why we're learning the articles, right? So for example, the article we're doing right now, why are we feeling heavy in spirituality? What he's saying is because we don't have faith. So that means I don't have the attribute of bestowal. And because I don't have the attribute of bestowal and the Creator is bestowal and our nature is opposite to the Creator, we're feeling heavy. Okay? So that's why okay. So the question is now, well, what am I going to do? All right. So that's the question. All right. So what am I going? Well, on the one hand, I want to study spirituality. I want to move forward because I want to attain the meaning of life. And on the other hand, I'm feeling heavy. So we're left in a bit of a dilemma. So the dilemma allows you to build yourself because now you got choice. Now you've got the room to calculate. Am I going to go back to corporeality and chase my corporeal desires? Or am I going to work on spirituality? Do you know what I mean? Like the Creator will put you in a place where you can discern what you want to do, because otherwise you can't grow your desire. There's no vessel otherwise. This is why you have to feel heavy. This is why we're always confused and in a dilemma, because through the confusion and the dilemma, I begin to evaluate my situation. This is why the wisdom of Kabbalah is so special. It allows you to dig into yourself. It allows you to discern what you're going through rather than just blindly believing in something that's written. Otherwise, we never understand life. When I'm talking about life, I'm talking about our spiritual life. So if then I feel resistance towards going forward in spirituality, that gives me the room to work, because the amount of difficulty I feel is the measure of effort I need to now stick in there to close the gap. Okay, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And that's the measure of heaviness I'm feeling. So the measure of heaviness now becomes the measure of effort I need to put in to push forward. If I'm lifting weights and I'm on 5 kilograms, right? Next week, I've got to start lifting 6. Okay. Otherwise, we're not going to go forward. Does that make sense? This is how it is in life. We finish grade 1, grade 2 becomes harder. So you finish grade 2, grade 3 starts. It's getting harder and harder all the time. But that allows you to develop the mind to move forward. And that's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing that we do in corporeality. The only problem is we're trying to get something against our nature. So it's causing us dramas. If we understood what we were going for, like, if they said to us, listen, you attain this, you're going to be a billionaire, then we'd all be running forward, especially if we had an example, right? If we had a template and said, listen, these guys have been doing this and they're all billionaires, we'd all be doing it. So another problem is we don't see spirituality and we don't see what another spiritual person or Kabbalist has attained. So we're right in the middle of a dilemma, but that dilemma allows you to make all the discernments. It allows you to clarify what you really want and what you think you should really do to get what you want. And all of those are only possible if you feel a descent. It will not be possible if you're feeling good. This is why a lot of people fall on the path, because they can't figure this out. They can't understand this little point that you need to fall, and that's where all your growth is. And the minute they figured that out, if they just figure this out, that's it, it's game over. Because every time you fall, then yes, you still feel heavy, but you feel, oh, not again, but you move forward. All right, you say, oh, it's always, oh, not again, but you understand the process and you move forward. And that's the beauty about it. And many people, you can't figure this out. This is why one of the main reasons is they fall and they don't use the environment properly. Otherwise, the wisdom of Kabbalah is quite easy. Sometimes, Butchin, who's this from? These are all from Francesco? Okay, right, so okay. So sometimes we don't even receive what is normal in life. How can this push me towards faith above reason? How can we measure normal in life? Measuring normal in life is this. Look, if you look at something and you think, can I do without this or not? I mean, is this really necessary? What are we discovering with COVID-19? I'm discovering that I'm wearing the same color t-shirt 6-7 days a week. Okay. Why? Because I'm working from home. I've just discovered I don't need a wardrobe. Okay. It feels funny, okay, but it's also giving me a lot of comfort zone, because I'm not worried about a lot of things I used to be worried about. You know, I need to shave, I need to go get a haircut, I need to, look at my hair. Okay. I don't think I've brushed it in a few days. Okay. And the reason that happens is either life brings you to an understanding of what's important and what's less important, or you, through the study, begin to understand what's important and what's less important. Now, if you begin to understand through the study, it's less painful. That's the real trick. If you want life to teach you, it's gonna smack you. So the whole idea of understanding is like, how am I going to move with the current of life? And if I'm studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, I'm beginning to think, you know what? I don't need to run after all this stuff. I don't need to go after all this stuff. What do I really need? I've got a kitchen. I got food in there. And basically just what I need to survive is food and a bit of clothing and the internet to study. And that's it. So all of a sudden, all the costs and expenses of life have drastically decreased by about, 60-70%. Because what have I got? I got rent, bills, food, and a bit of clothing. And I'm not running after all the stuff that I used to be running after, like, I don't know, traveling, doing this and that. Why? Because life is already restricting me. See how life is helping us? Life is helping us with a virus. Hard to believe, but true. Because through the virus, we are now beginning to lose the taste of life. We're beginning to lose the desire to run after a lot of stuff. Now, when we study the wisdom of Kabbalah, you can begin to understand what's necessary and what's unnecessary. And you can balance it out. Sometimes it becomes a bit of a drama. Okay, and it does. I've been through a few myself. Still going through a few myself, okay? But the thing is, if you keep up with the study, somehow, right? Somehow, life keeps you in that, in that path, on the path, on track. So even when I'm going through tough times, it could be financial, it could be work, family, health, whatever. As long as I'm maintaining the course, like it says in the article, no matter what happens, I'm giving importance to spirituality and to my spiritual development. Somehow life works out. I don't know how it does, but it does. And that's probably above reason for us at the moment. So it is. So what's normal, what's not normal, these are like things we figure out along the way, really. Define illumination, please. Illumination is when I have an understanding of what's happened to me, because I understand why things happen to me. When I'm going through a state, I can never understand what's happening to me and why it's happening to me. I mean, I understand I feel bad, but I don't know why. Okay, because when I'm feeling bad, my mind isn't there. My mind is like, why am I feeling bad? I'm just upset and angry about the situation, because from the perspective of the individual, we can never justify the bad state we're going through. The only time I can understand the bad state I'm going through is when I get above it to the next level. It's the same way in life. We understand biology because biology relates to our animate life. Okay, we're human, so we understand biology because it's the animate level. We understand botany because it's the plant level. We understand physics, chemistry because it's the still level. But we don't understand ourselves because we are in our self level. This is why we have a lot of psychological problems in life, right? Humanity goes through depression, psychological issues, drug abuse, all kinds of, violence, all these kind of things. Why are we crazy? Because we don't understand ourselves at the level we are in. So in order for Francesco to understand Francesco, Francesco has to be Francesco plus one. And then you can say, that's why. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Same with life. I don't understand what it's like to be 10 years old. I can understand it when I'm 11. So it is. But vessels of bestowal are also a reward of the work. There has to be a reward. We're a desire to receive. You cannot work without fulfillment. And the Creator wants you to get fulfillment. But He wants you to get fulfillment from being like the Creator, not like being here, not like being in our current nature, that is. The Creator wants us to be happy. He wants us to be in perfection. He wants us to be just like Him in reality. And that's the reward. The reward, the punishment that we feel like we're being punished, is because in this life, we are always running after our desires. And we don't understand that the desire and the pleasure cancel each other out. Whatever I want in life, when I get it, the pleasure and the desire cancel each other out. There's no fulfillment. There's no ongoing fulfillment. So you're going back to square one. So our whole life, we're running around and going back to square one, back to square one, back to square one. And that's why depression, all kinds of violence, drug abuse, that kind of stuff. Even playing video games, right? What are we doing with video games? We're disconnecting ourselves from life. Just get me out of here. Everything with even football. Why would anyone want to watch football? You got what? 20 guys running after a ball. I mean, like, what is that? Really? It's a waste of 90 minutes of your precious life watching guys running after a ball. That is nuts. But we do it. Why? Because we want to, just get away from life. Anything to get away from life. Anything to get away from this question about the meaning of life even. You just don't want to think about it. So all of these things, we need to have this thing to look forward to. Sometimes even the most profound prayer, it seems he doesn't listen. How can we bestow if it's up to him to give us the vessel? Well, look, for us, what's profound could be for our mum something really trivial like crying for a bit of milk or crying over spilt milk. All right. So we don't understand what deep is. We just feel bad and we want to compensate that sensation of feeling bad with what we want to replace it with. Okay. So that's actually like, what the Kabbalists say, swapping a donkey with a cow. Okay. I'm just swapping one desire with another because I want to get something better for the current situation that I have. But that's not how it's going to work. How it's going to work is when I'm making spirituality more and more important. The importance is the prayer. So it's not going to be with us wanting or talking about it. It has to be this feeling that, this is the most important thing in life and this is it. I either get this or I don't care. And that needs to be a sensation. But certain jobs or even your own family doesn't want to see you with necessity. They want the best of you and not lack. You begin to oppose them and they end up not wanting even to speak with you. That's true. That's true. So what can you do? What can you know what what can you do? Look, if they allow you to come to the morning lesson, right? Do you get to the morning lesson? Do you have a 10? You have a 10, right? Good. So stick with them. If they allow you to do that, great. What I always do is this. They allow me to study spirituality and I do whatever they want. I do what they want. So they say, listen, Mutlu, you can study spirituality. You got morning lessons. Great. You're teaching 4 times a week, even though I don't like it. Okay. Even though I don't like it. Okay. No problem. All the other days and nights, okay, except the morning lesson, obviously, right? We say, you do. What's good with that? That is also me not sticking my nose into what they want and letting the Creator bring to me whatever. Does that make sense? Why? Because I've taken myself out of the equation. I've taken myself out of the argument. I've made a framework. Okay? There's a spiritual framework I'm keeping, and we agree with it. Okay? For the rest of the things, I don't argue with anything. I say, whatever you guys want, I'll do. But I'm not wanting it. They're wanting it. So what does that do? It allows me to put the Creator on the spot. Does that make sense? So now the Creator is, well, Mutlu is not sticking his nose into it. So it's all up to me. So that way you take your ego out of the equation, you take yourself out of the equation, and then you can say, well, there's none else besides him. Okay. But you haven't damaged your framework. Okay. So you still got the morning lessons. I'm still doing dissemination. I've still got responsibilities towards the group. Everything's honky-dory. All right. But the evening, the dinner with the family, okay, the dinner with the family is a must. Okay, that's the rule. So they got rules as well. I've got rules, they got rules. The dinner with the family is a must. Weekends with the family is a must. And there I've got nothing to say except okay. Then nothing you do becomes for yourself. So you've done everything you can for the family. You've done everything you've done for the spirituality. And it's like you've done nothing for yourself. And that way you're like completely eliminating dramas. Okay. This is why you've got to be understanding towards the wife and the family. Just say, listen, I'll study spirituality, right? And then we do what you think is good for the family. And also, I never stick my nose into what the wife needs for the family. If she says we need this, I say okay. I don't ask questions. It's a little trick we learned from Rabash, which the Rav told us. Shut your mouth and open your pocket. Okay, apparently he learned that from the Rabash. I'm applying it, and it's a pretty damn good advice, if you ask me. Because the minute you say, sure, okay, no problem, then it's like, oh, okay. Then there's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to argue about. So, and also women know better the needs of the house than men. They know much better what the kids need. They know much better how to run the household. We men don't do anything really. What do? Just go out hunting, bring the meat back, and that's it. The rest is lie down on the couch and watch footy. So if we just manage our roles right, then everything should work out gradually. Okay. And that's about it. All right. So unfortunately, we won't be able to go on to that next article because we had a lot of questions, but it's good to clarify all this stuff. So it's a nice little article. All we have to do is increase the importance of the goal in the group by using the environment and, just keep trotting along. The important thing here is also framework. If you maintain your framework, and if you can agree on a framework that's good for you and the 10, then, that'll just build you up. And then you go through heavy stuff, yeah. But like we said, all the heavy stuff is exactly where the growth is. So that's how the system works. If you guys, if you just understand the logic behind it, then every fall, every heaviness can become justified before you understand why you're going through it. Because this is exactly how it is in life as well. Every time I can attain something in life, achieve something in life, I have to go through some hardship. Nobody becomes great at what they do without putting some hard work into it. Edison had to discover the light bulb after God knows how many thousands of light bulbs exploded. Or Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan after God knows how many thousands of shots he practiced. So it's like that for everything. The reason we feel heavy is because we don't understand what we're going to get from bestowal. And it feels like we're going to lose everything because bestowal means to give. So then you immediately feel heavy. Well, that's not a good deal. It's like a bad business deal. So that's why we feel heavy. But if we understand the process behind it, the logic behind it, it makes sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have a good night here. We're going to get back to the morning lesson, and hopefully, God willing, we'll see each other next week. All right. All the best. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Take care.